Well, welcome everybody. This is, as Tara said, probably for me one of the most exciting things to chat about because everything that we have been doing has led to this point to see how, for those of us in the direct sales industry, how we could now take all of this wonderful information and apply it and get the realization that we truly desire to have as we've been going. I cannot believe, I'm telling you, I'm still like pretty amazed that we are at week 11 already. And we started with the awakening, the transformation, and now we are in the realization stage of what we're doing. So as we go about this, we've had many conversations about being a creator of our own reality. We already have everything we need. That's why we talk about personal mastery rather than personal development, right? Because all we really truly want to do is get ourselves to do what we know we should do or want to do. And personal mastery becomes a way of life. So what we're going to talk about today and tonight is conscious network marketing. And some of the concepts here may seem a little strange to you. However, I'm going to invite you to really maybe think about how you are approaching people, approaching your business, and some of the thought processes that you may have had going in. Because we are truly talking about a new way of thinking, because if we continue to do things the same way we've always have, right? When you look at how things have changed over just the last few years, you look how things have changed over the last 10, 20, 30, 40 years for some of us. If you just take that into consideration, and then you look at how many people are still attempting to do network marketing in the same way, in the same fashion that they always have. And it truly is time for a different way of going about it. So what I'm going to do as we go through this, and we'll go through this relatively quickly, but I'm going to talk about some unconscious things and some conscious things as a comparison to really assist us in maybe making some minor tweaks that might make a huge difference in your business. So when you look at it from a point of view, most times people come in and they have unrealistic goals. They go to an event and they see people making a bunch of money, a variety of different things, and they set unrealistic goals that truly get them in trouble because they can't, once they don't reach them or get close to them, then they have in their own minds a reason to quit. So what we talk about from a conscious point of view is having empowering intentions, right? What is it that you truly intend to do? Who do you intend to serve? The difference that you really want to truly make. And we're going to talk a lot about this as we go through this presentation. Believing lies and the myths. And, I love when you hear these stories, and I'm sure many of you, some of you have heard these stories about somebody who's achieved some rank in, this miraculous period of time. But what they didn't tell you was that they were pre-building for a month or 2 months prior, gathering applications to create the story. So really, from a conscious point of view, we want to deal just with the truth and authenticity, right? Being transparent. When you look at network marketing, we're going to go through another unconscious piece here. We talk about it assumes that everybody's the same. It says treat everybody the same way, 3-foot rule, all those good things. What I would also invite you to really look at, and some of you may be familiar, there's a variety of different assessment tools. Some use colors, you have core, there's a variety of different tools that really allow you to understand that basically no matter which assessment that you use, it breaks down into 4 different types of people. And if you learn how to connect and talk to and really relate to people based on how they can hear you best, it makes all the difference in the world. And I love it from an unconscious state. I remember the old days, anybody within 3 feet of you, you recruit anyone, right? And so all that leads to is more disaster, more waste of time. And when you're really conscious, what starts to happen is your presence, who you are, who you're becoming. You attract like-minded people. You attract people like you, right? And this is really one of the most powerful things about this business. And very few people want to take the time to actually look and see what this is, right? Because your business generally is a mirror reflection of who you are, right? So that's generally what happens, right? So you want to be able to really look at that. I remember back in the days when we used to get our list from phone books and try to get names and all kinds of things. And truly, when you have a business like Jump to Health and you can grow it with a small community, your contacts, your leads, the things you can do, the things that you can share are really pretty amazing. And also the relationships that you build over time. I love the scripts. I used to laugh when people would tell me how I needed to talk to somebody, like somebody I talked to for 10 years, and then all of a sudden I'm going to, get them on the phone and read the script to them or give them a script. And really, when you become conscious, what you want to do is have strategic conversations at the right time, really be honest, be real with people. It's like, I like to share with people, if there comes a time when I was one to share with somebody I hadn't talked to in a very long time about a business I was doing, the first thing I would tell them when I got them on the phone, I was like, hey, you know what? The reason for my call is business. We can catch up later, right? Because there's nothing worse to me than pretending like, oh yeah, I care about you. I haven't talked to you in so long. I just wanted to connect with you. When the truth of the matter is truly the reason why I'm calling, because I want to get you in business with me. And so I just believe in being upfront and telling people that's the reason for my call at the beginning, and then we can catch up and do all that other good stuff. And unconsciously, what most people do is truly treat the business like a hobby, right? And do it sometimes, not even part-time, but sometimes. And if you truly want to build a business and do something great, you want to treat it like a business. So let's just think about those things and think about how we're doing our business right now. So what does it take to be successful? There's two key things that it really takes to build a direct sales network marketing business. Most important is customer and customer acquisition, right? And so if you're going after customers, the thing that's so critical is the products have to be absolutely spectacular and priced correctly. So if you're in a product-based business, the first thing that you truly want to do is have and acquire customers. So when you're with a company as like Jump to Health, where the customers that you gather, you can actually gather your 3 customers and get your products for free, which is kind of unheard of, but you can do that, right? And your customers have all kinds of tools and things that they can use as their body starts to change and different things start to happen for them as well. So your customers get extreme value. And when you know that you are sharing a product or a service with someone that has extreme value, right? And you're not taking advantage of them and they're not paying more so you can get paid, there's a sense of pride that comes along with that, right? So when you have great products and makes it easier to retain your customers, that allows you to get your products for free, as well as build relationships with your customers and have them start to create some massive changes in their life. And then the other piece of the business, which is incredibly important, as we know, is to create a team of business partners, people that you want to work with, right? I like to make a distinction between work with and help, right? So usually if you just go to help someone, they tend to think that they need help with, when you really, what you're looking for is you want to work with people. You want to work with them to accomplish their goals, to accomplish their dreams, to accomplish their desires. But it's work that we're doing, right? Help can, there's a variety of other ways that I like to use help, but in building and creating business partners, I want to work with a team of people that are going for the same goal. And so what does it take to create your reality? In my opinion, it takes personal mastery, getting yourself to do things that you know that you should do that you may not be doing, right? So a lot of times I make the reference that network marketing is a lot like gyms, right? So many people sign up for the gym. Many people sign up for the gym, but very few people show up. They show up for a little while, but then they go away because it's too challenging, too difficult, too much of a commitment. Personal mastery is really getting yourself to do things that you know or that you dedicated yourself to do. So that takes a level of consciousness and mindset. Also tapping into your unique skill set. And this is the beauty of assessments. This is the beauty of really understanding yourself and what you're good at, what you're known for, right? So then you can use your unique skills to connect with people in a way that serves them best. And then strategy and process, right? Not just throwing stuff up against the wall, but having a strategy, having a process, having a plan, and really treating it like a real business. Because if you treat this like a real business, it will pay you for a lifetime and also your grandchildren and children. So let's talk about some of the reasons most people do not succeed and what we can do and how we can interject ourselves into this equation. Right? So reason number one, which is one of my favorites, lack of commitment to the business, right? So again, sometimes this lack of commitment is based on the story that people are told. Like I love the story. People say, oh, this is a business that anyone can do. That is the biggest lie in the world. This is not a business that anyone can do, right? So this is a business that you have to be willing to do certain things in order to build the business. So most people, unfortunately, and it's not just direct sales, it's like any business. Most people lack the necessary mindset, drive, and commitment required to build a business. They treat it like a hobby, right? So you don't want to treat your business like a hobby. You want to treat it like a business. Treat it like what you want, what you expect to have out of it, right? So when you're looking to work with people, the first thing you want to do is really have a conversation to see what their true level of commitment is, right? Reason number two, duplicating failure, following and mimicking unsuccessful people. And we'll talk about this toward the end of our presentation when we still talk about and pick up on the imposter syndrome, where people are pretending to be something that they're not. They want to give the reference to make it look like they're having more success than they're really having, instead of just being real and instead of just showing up and doing what it is that's necessary to do. And when you're following people who are imposters, then what happens to your business? Your business falls apart because it's not based on any truth. It's not based on any reality. And when you're doing that, you're not taking the necessary time to develop your individual dreams. And one of the things, we talked about this a little bit on the call last night. I think one of the things that as we're going through some of these challenging times today, that some of us have let our dreams kind of go to the wayside, or we instead of dreaming those big dreams, instead of dreaming the dreams that give us excitement, we start to have dreams that allow us to settle. So we really want to set the stage for dreaming great dreams, right? Reason three, easy money. They get fooled and fall for the enthusiasm and hype of earning lots of money in a short period of time. Here's the key. When you have a plan that allows you to earn money, yes, will it take work? Absolutely. It's going to take work. It's going to take getting uncomfortable. It's going to take a few things in order to do that. But when you can do that with a few people instead of hundreds or thousands, it will make your life tremendously easier. And reason number four, which is really I think the key, is the internal blocks, the unconscious things that happen, things that we've had in our lives, past events, right? And so many people want to be successful business owners, but they use an employee mindset because that's all they know. That's all they ever knew, right? They don't understand how to take full responsibility for ourselves. Here's the beauty about network marketing, ladies and gentlemen. When you can build a network marketing business, I got to tell you, there are very few things you will not be able to do, because when you can lead a volunteer army, right? When people are really looking to follow you and work with you, and they don't have to, they're doing it by choice, then trust me, you have developed a skill set, you have developed personal mastery and the ability to do anything that you choose to do, right? So when you have these internal blocks and you don't realize that you have a lifetime of conditioning and negative messages, and one of the things that as you're working with people, you can tell by their language what messages they get. And if you ask them the right questions, you might be able to help them get rid of some of those. So that's some of the blocks. Let's look at some of the obstacles, because some of you may have come across this as you are working with or talking to different people. Now, we're going to go through these one at a time, and you can see them here. So since we're going to go through them one at a time, we're going to get started. So not a salesperson, right? So how many of you have talked to someone and they tell you, oh my goodness, I'm not about sales. I don't know how to sell. I don't want to sell. I don't want to be rejected, right? This is where understanding your personality style and understanding the style of the person you're talking to. So some of you may say, well, how will I understand their style, Randy? Well, become a master at asking the right questions. You can tell if somebody's introverted, extroverted. You ask them questions, they will share with you by their conversation exactly their style and how you, and then you can determine how to best serve them and work with them. So what are some of the aspects that are important? And this is really critical, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is, to me, is the most critical. I'm talking about active listening skills. And I'm talking about that when you're listening at a deeper level, right? Not just listening to hear or wait for them to say something so you could jump in, but really listening with that inner ear, listening with that inner ear to see what's really driving that person. From that, you can determine how to share your story and create solutions. Because if you're listening and sharing your story, you'll be able to help create solutions for them. And here's the beauty that happens, because people support what they create together. They become part of the process with you, right? So, and when you understand that, and your presence actually is your power. And what do I mean by that? It's the energy that you portray, that people, when they're around you, when they're talking to you, they say to something to the effect that, I don't know what it is that you have, but whatever it is, I really want some of that. Now, I know for some of you, you've been around people like that. When you just get around them, you feel good. And that's your presence. So your presence has to be your power, right? And then the key, how do you avoid rejection? How do you do the business consciously? Well, when you're sharing your story and you're asking questions and people are getting engaged, you know what's going to happen? They're going to ask you, well, how can I do that? How can I become a part of that? How can I do that? Right? So that's the beauty really of understanding how to share your story, how to create solutions for people. Have them ask you, how can I do what you're doing? How can I lose that 10, 15 pounds? How can I do that? Right? So you want to be a product of the product. So the truth to guide your life by is that you don't ever have to sell when your life is speaking volumes. So when you become that purposeful, powerful leader, people will be attracted to you. And remember this, people love to buy, but no one loves to be sold. Okay? Burnt out from so many other companies. I don't know. Some of you may have talked to people who have been in 3, 4, 5 different companies, sometimes even more than that, right? So the key, right? The key is to help them understand that it may not have been their fault. It may have been their fault, but what did they learn? And really, truly getting clarity on the past does not equal the future, right? So when you reconnect, there's a reason. I think it's so interesting that many people, I don't know how many times I've heard people say to me, oh, this is my last run. This is the last time I'm doing this, right? But then they end up doing it again. And the reason is because there's something magical that happens when you're about serving people and making a difference. When you know that there's something really possible, that there's something greater than what you may have been able to accomplish on your own, and the relationships that you develop. In order to really access that, assisting people to let go of the past and not let it predict their future, being able to show them and work with them and show them the difference in what you're doing, show them the difference of being conscious rather than unconscious, instead of doing the same old things over and over again, but finding new ways to do things and connect with people. And when you're connecting with your purpose and your passion, and I'm telling you, there's something magical that happens when people see you with a demonstration of your purpose and passion. And this one is really critical to me as well, the power of focus, right? And staying connected to your dream, right? And so we talked about our value-centered must-haves. And those are the things that are important to us based on our values, right? Because those are the drivers. Those are the things that's going to drive us past where we've been in before. So getting clear about everything in our past is a lesson for our success in the future. Really simple stuff. Loss of credibility with family and friends, right? I've spoken to many people that have had this as an issue because they've had people, follow them into a variety of different companies or doing different things or whatever, and they feel like they lost their credibility, right? And what I found that's really interesting is that people love to be able to, when you tell them the truth and you're being authentic and you're real with them, and you're not trying to game them and you're not trying to just get them to do something with you, but because you truly believe in your heart and soul that you have something that will impact their life in a positive way, and you can demonstrate that without the games, without the hype, without the lie. And you can do that by simply being real, by simply being true to yourself and not being something or trying to be something that you're not. Tapping into your unique gifts, right? So when you look at how do you rebuild your credibility, well, you rebuild your credibility by being transparent and really sharing the truth about what happened and maybe some of the mistakes that you made, some of the things that happened, some of the things that you looked at that you now have learned differently, some of the people that you're around now. So yes, will it take some time? Absolutely. Will it take a process? But those processes will allow you to rebuild the trust, not just rebuilding the trust for them. Most importantly, rebuilding the trust in yourself, right? So when we know that we've learned our lesson, when we understand without question that knowing what you know today, that you would not do the same things that you've done in the past, when you know that you can truly have a level of forgiveness for yourself, and when you can express that to other people, they can feel that and know that for themselves as well, right? Because they know that you're going to be true to yourself and keep your word. And another favorite, of course, is no time, right? And if you ever had somebody go through how they spend their day or how they spend their time, most people could easily, when I say easily, I mean easily find 2 to 4 hours a day that just goes to waste, right? So as your conviction and confidence grows about what's really possible, right? Because most of the time people tell you they have no time. And the reason they're telling you they have no time, right, is because they don't believe that it's possible for them to change their lifestyle. They don't believe it's possible for their dreams to become a reality, right? So this magic that happens, especially, this is why I love working with people first with their body, because as their body starts to change and their confidence starts to grow, all of a sudden, what's possible becomes even greater, right? So the critical insights that are so important is truly how to master the moments. And one of the biggest things I had to learn is many times I would say yes when I wanted to say no, and learning how to master the moments and create the time that you require to grow your business. Because generally, if you want to build a business, there's some things that you're going to have to give up. It may be TV, it may be any number of things, but there's some things that will have to be given up in order for you to set the time to really build your business. And and today in today's environment, many people use social media and the social media tools and online resources to automate your business. And those are the things that you want to tap into, especially if you're looking for new contacts and new ways to connect with people. There are all kinds of tools on social media to use, right? But you want to have processes that align with your goals, with your intentions, and what you want out of life, right? So when you are really focused on your value-centered must-haves and the people, your team that you're working with, you're really assisting them and focusing in on what's most important to them, not what's most important to you, right? This is a mistake, right? And this may annoy some of you, but here's just the truth that you want to live by, right? We say the right things to people, but what our intention is that we are really trying to just use them to get what we want, right? So when your intention is to just use people to get what you want and you say all the right things, at some point that wears off. But there's something magical, right? And I can hear it in our leaders' voices that we have in Jump. But there's something magical that happens when people truly know that your true intention is for them to get what they want. And you got their back every step of the way, every moment of every day. And you're going to be there to assist them to get what they want. And as a result of that, you'll get what you want. But when you focus on what they want, most of all, miracles start to happen. Real, true miracles start to happen. Promises of money that were never realized, okay? So we're not going to spend a lot of time on this. But the key that you really want to understand and look at is, how are you being compensated for the efforts that you're putting in? Is the compensation fair to you? Is it fair to the company? Is it fair to you, right? And so once you understand that what you have is real and it's fair, and then it becomes you're not building your dream and your desires on something that cannot be a reality. And unfortunately, in this industry, most companies, most companies generally don't even have dollar for dollar in terms of your fair compensation. However, they what they don't tell you is only one half of 1%, maybe 1% of the people, 2% of the people max will get their dreams met. The rest will never ever get what they want out of the deal. And that's why for so many people, they have this sour taste in their mouth because they've never had the experience of truly understanding and working with a company that allows you with a small group of people and part-time effort that you can truly start to begin the process of change. So what you want to really get a hold of is to learn and really understand how to grow your community, how to use your unique talents and gifts. We're going to talk about that a lot. And most importantly, way to share your vision, right? When share your vision of what's possible, right? And share that not only your vision, but really assisting again. And I'll keep going back to this. If you want to build a conscious business, it's really not about you. It's really about the people that you want to serve and who you want to work with, right? And like, who do you want to spend the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years with, right? Growing together, building together, doing the things that you love to do, right? So when you make a promise about what's possible, it's one of the things that I love about Jump. Nobody gets hurt here, right? And if you do the work, you'll earn the money. If you don't do the work, you won't earn the money. And so be it. That's the way it is. It takes work. So here are some of the key reasons from last week that we talked about that I wanted to bring back because I think it's really important. And sometimes people get a little annoyed when I talk about imposter syndrome because they've been conditioned and trained to act as if and do all kinds of things. And I'm just finding that in today's environment, in today's world, people want people that are truly being real and are with them every step of the way, right? And so some of the things that came back last week was that feeling you're leading people down a path of failure, right? And so this is where we betray ourselves sometimes, right? Because we may not necessarily have yet accomplished what we want to accomplish because we haven't had the right conversations with the right people yet. And if we keep that in mind, right? And if we keep our value-centered must-haves in front of us, not behind us, but in front of us, that becomes our fuel, right? And we don't allow ourselves to live in the MLM lies and hype, right? I love the fact that people like to talk about, well, you got anybody can do this, just follow the system and you'll be fine. No, that's not going to happen. There's things you have to learn. There's things you must do. There's things that become part of just learning how to build a business that are critical. And when you learn those things, you build up confidence, right? So you're not trying to convince people to do something that you haven't accomplished, because when you accomplish understanding what you're here for, when you accomplish understanding how your business operates, so to think that you don't need a skill set, to think that you don't need to understand how your business functions, to think that you don't need to understand how your products work, to think that you don't need to understand how your revenue sharing plan works is a misconception. These are things that are part of personal mastery that, in my opinion, you must know, right? Because if you are in business, I want to be in business with people who understand the business that they're in. Why would I want to be in business with people who don't even understand the business that they're in? How are they going to work with me to assist me in being in business if they don't even know what their business is? And this is why so many people fall into the whole duplicating failure trap, right? Because they, instead of taking the time to really learn the skills, to learn the things that are important to be in business, just ask yourself a simple question. What kind of person do you want to be in business with? And are you that person, right? Are you that person that you'd want to be in business with, right? That is really simple, not very complicated at all. And if you're not that person, then what things do you are required to do that will allow you to become that person, right? Because it's all about who we're becoming. It's not about being perfect. It's not about being there yet. It's all about being willing to grow into who you want to become, right? So So let's talk about duplicatable systems. This is part of the fun that I get, and I get a lot of kickback or feedback on this, right? Because the majority of systems, I gotta tell you, ladies and gentlemen, point blank, the majority of systems, all they do is duplicate failure. They do not duplicate success. If the majority of systems work, most of us wouldn't even be on this call. We would be done, finished, and complete, right? So if you really truly want a duplicatable system that works, it starts with self-examination. Here's one thing I do know. People will not do what you say. They will do what you do. They will do what you do. They will be a vibrational match to your actions, right? So if you jump on the phone trying to pump somebody up and you haven't done the work yourself, I'm telling you, that's what gets duplicated. But when you've done the work, when you have looked at what you need to do, when you are sharing with people from your heart, doing all the things that we've talked about earlier, right? So really, you want a duplicatable system. It really starts with you. It starts with who you are, who you're becoming, what you're doing, right? Because again, people will do what you do, right? You want a workable, duplicatable system, all right? Your first goal is to have at least 3 frontline people earning 300 to 500 a month, right? So it may take a little time to have that happen. However, when you make that your goal, when you make that your intention, and you look at, instead of looking at it from your point of view, look at it from their point of view. And what I mean by that is look at it from the point of view that what is that 500 per month going to do for that family that you're working with, right? So in order for this to happen, right, you have to be that demonstration of what's possible, right? So if you want to share with people about a system that works, then you have to be part of creating part of that system yourself. You have to be doing the work, making sure that you're doing and learning everything that you need to learn to be the leader, right? Some people say, just keep following the leader, follow the leader. Well, here is the truth. You must become the leader. You must become the leader. You have to have personal mastery and be a demonstration of that and show people that if you can do that, so can they. Because those are the people, like it or not, are the people who will earn the money in the business, right? It's taking on that responsibility, taking on that role, right? So people follow you before they ever follow a system. They must believe in you, right? So if you're blowing smoke up their butt, they're not going to believe in you. If you're talking a bunch of stuff, they're not going to believe in you. But when you are sharing with them real life situations and things that we all experience, and they know that you are with them you're with them through those difficulties, right? And you are working together for them to accomplish what they want. I have to tell you, it's amazing what will happen. And this is not, the things that I'm sharing with you now are not things that you don't know, right? But what I always share is that there are things that we want to be reminded of, so we put into action. That's how we make the shift. It's not like we're going to make gigantic shifts, but we make these little shifts along the way that will make a huge difference. So you want a duplicatable system, start with yourself, right? Now, here's one of the things that I think is really critical, is presenting the business, right? Where it really starts is understanding and knowing, right, what people are most interested in. Do they want to lose weight? Do they want to build a business? Do they want better overall health? Or do they just want to try the products, right? And not trying to do this one size fits all, right, that we talk about, and just slam something down their throat, right? So it starts with knowing what they desire. So that means having a conversation, right? Knowing and finding out. See, because here's something that's so interesting. What most people want to know is that if what you have to offer will bring them what they desire. That's what they want to know. So if you're talking about anything else, they're not even really listening to you. But if you can key in to what's important to them and then bring together what makes sense that you have that will bring them what they want, now they can start to listen to you. Now they can start to hear you. Because what they're concerned about is what's in it for them. right? And so you want to make sure that when you're presenting the business to them, that that's what you're giving them, what they want. Because this is truly not a one size fits all business. That's why understanding somebody's personality, understanding what they want, understanding what's the best way to communicate with them. This is when you learn these skills, these are the skills that are all incredibly important to have a level of success that you want to have in this business, right? So it's important to match your presentation to their needs. Now, here's where some systems and different things can come into place. Giving a blanket presentation or system to a cold market, that works if you're sorting. If you're just trying to see who may be interested or who, those kinds of things, and not people that you already have a connection with, and you want to do a blanket presentation to see who's interested, fine, go for it. Have at it. That'll give you something to do for a few hours a day, right? But once you get an interested party, once you get someone who is really interested, I would strongly, critically employ you to address their individual needs and desires. Don't just start throwing up on them all this stuff. Ask the right questions to find out what's most important to them, and then show them how what you have to offer will fit their needs and their desires. And when you can do that, you will find that as you're talking to people and working with people, that you'll have a whole lot more people who want to be part of what you're doing. So what is it that we want to do? We truly want to be able to unlock the door and shift what I like to call 60 years of unconsciousness, right? There's so many people, so many of us that have been doing this for freaking decades, right? And we're still at it. So if we want to unlock the door and shift something to create something different, so this truly is, right? This truly is your home where you know that you can rest, because now you're making that shift and you're making what was impossible for so many people now possible, right? So what you're making that used to be impossible now becomes possible. So how do we go about this, right? So it's really simple. So we move from the unconscious state of getting people to attracting people. I love when he was, I just need to go get me some people. No. You want to look at attracting people, bringing people to you based on your energy and who you are. People love to pitch the business, get the hooks, do all that. No, you want to be able to invite people to something, invite them to something that's just so mesmerizing and so good. It fits their heart, fits their soul because of the conversations that you have. So you want to invite them into your world, invite them into your world of possibility, invite them into something that gives them the feeling and the knowing and the hope that what you have to share with them will change their lives. Many people go through overhyping the business. Oh, this is going to happen. No, just have real conversations. Say, hey, man, this is the way it is. This is the work that we have to do. These are the things that we do on a daily basis that bring forth these results. These are the products that we have that no one else has, right? So instead of just throwing out this opportunity presentation, tailor the presentation. Make sure the presentation and the conversations that you're having with them fit, right? And so many people that I talk to on a daily basis, they always tell me, and they don't even know they're telling me this, but they're chasing people. They're chasing them. No, you don't chase anybody. When you have the goal in your hand, and you know that you have the goal, people will come to you. The only way that you have to chase them is that when you don't know you have the goal. So what you want to have is a system for follow-up, right? That allows you to be professional and follow up. You don't need to chase anybody when you have the best products for the best price and the best revenue sharing plan, right? But you do have to have a system for following up. I'm not a big component of scripts. I think scripts are a waste of time. They're phony. I'm just not, right? I'm more of a component of really expressing to people how they can do what you're doing, right? And so I'm really a component of them being able to ask you, how can I do that? And when we put the two together, right, that you can see something that you didn't have before. Now, this is one that people really get pissed off at me about, because they're always about getting butts in the seats. You can get butts in the seats, but if you don't provide the education when the butts get out of the seat, it's a waste of damn time. And all you're doing is getting more butts in the seat, right? And you're just moving through people, moving through people, moving through people. The key, yeah, do events drive a business? Absolutely. But it's what do you do in between the events that make the difference? What do you do when somebody can actually see something that they haven't seen before? Are you providing them the necessary education to make the next steps? Or are you just trying to get them to the next event? So it's more than just getting butts in the seats. It's providing the education, it's providing the resources, it's providing all the things that will allow them to have the life that they desire, whether they hang out with you or not, because you're providing something to them of such value that they will never leave you and always want to be part of your life and what you're doing because of the value that you're bringing to them, right? So what is consciousness network marketing? It's really simple. It begins on the inside, not the outside. So trying to buy the fake Rolex watches and all the other crap, who cares? It really begins on the inside. Who you are and who you're becoming you will attract exactly that, right? So in order to make a difference in your life and lives of others, you must begin from within, right? How many times have you all through this 11 weeks that we've been going through this, right? Your external results is a direct result of your internal conversation, right? Please understand this. You are the key factor. You are your business. We think it's the products, we think it's the financial rewards. No, the business is you. You are your brand, you are your business. You are what people are attracted to. The business is the vehicle that we're choosing to use. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have great products and a great financial reward, but what people are buying into is you. That's why personal mastery is so incredibly important, right? It's not about personal development. It's all great. It's all good. It's all good stuff. But we're not broken. It's just a matter of mastering the small things and the little things that really make a huge difference, becoming conscious of what you're really doing, right? And then once you access, here's something that I get so excited about, because all of us, every person on this call has a level of greatness within them. And when you access that greatness and it really becomes about serving and really becomes about making a difference, I'm telling you, the world changes. And as that world changes, that's when you're able to teach and mentor people. That's when you're able to do that. When you access what's in you, you access your gifts. And now people can see through your eyes, right? They can see through your eyes until they can see through their own, because they know they're with someone that truly has their back, that's truly about making a difference. But that doesn't happen when we're coming from a place that lacks confidence. When we're coming from a place of feeling like we're not enough. And that's the problem with most of the people in this world. Unfortunately, we've been conditioned to believe that we're not enough. Just keep telling yourself, and know, if you don't know anything else, if you can't get anything else from this message other than the fact that you are enough, please take that with you. You are more than enough, right? Everything that you desire and need is already within you to build anything you want, whether it's this business or whatever it is, right? You already possess everything that you desire and need to happen. You just have to access it. So how do you really build this? And this is just 6 steps, and we're going to wrap it up with this. Number 1 is belief. If you don't believe, then you're toast. You might as well even not just stay on the products and wait till you lose enough weight, do whatever you do. But it's all about belief, right? It's all about what you believe. And I'm talking about believing it at a core level and then believe and having that passion behind it, right? So having the belief without the passion isn't going to do you a whole lot of good. But then having the passion really work into conviction, right? So if you look at these steps, it's belief, it's passion, it's conviction. And then when you have that conviction, you have an inner knowing. And when you have an inner knowing, people can't take you off your game. They cannot take you off your game when you have an inner knowing that you have the goal, you have the ability, you have the team, you have the resources, you have everything that's necessary to assist someone to building a life that they desire. And when you have that knowing, that's when your business changes. That's when you have a conscious business. When your business is in alignment, your values are in alignment. All those things that we talk about, all these things are incredibly, incredibly important, but people pay very little attention to. What they pay attention to is trying to sell somebody on the products and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not, Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Are the products important and critical? Yes. But what's most important is you. You are the business. That's why personal mastery is so incredibly important. That's why personal mastery comes down to your value-centered must-haves, right? Knowing every important aspect of your business. This nonsense that you don't need to know about the products is nonsense. You need to know about the products. Do you have to be an expert? No. But what you need to know is where to direct people to get the correct information. You don't have to become an expert, but you do have to know where to get the information from. And for those of you who are in Jump, you have an app that points to that information. So you need to really know that, right? Who wants to be in business with somebody who doesn't know anything about their own damn business, right? So those are things that you want to master. You want to understand. Do you need to be an expert at the revenue sharing plan? No, but you need to know how to express it or how to connect them with someone that does and that can do that, right? So these are critical small things that in my opinion, you must master, truly mastering yourself to do the things that you haven't done before. I love it when we talk about understanding and knowing your why, but it's so much deeper than just that, because your first why is generally a lie. You want to go deeper than that. You want to go to a place that will have you doing what you have not done before to get what you truly desire. And when it's based on your value-centered must-haves, this is how it all comes together. This is why when we started this whole process of looking at all the different areas of our life and what's important to us to get to this place, because when we have this level of congruency, this is really where the magic starts to happen. So remember this, ladies and gentlemen, right? It's just like the Matrix, the blue pill or the red pill, but you're one of a kind. You are one of a kind. And when you honor your own uniqueness, when you stop trying to follow everyone else, but you honor your own uniqueness, you teach people and you work with people to honor their uniqueness, and you become this team, you create this energy, you create something that literally did not exist prior, right? And you can go deeper into yourself. You can literally start to see what will begin to happen as you bring this energy together, right? As you become conscious and you decide, you know what? I'm not going to play at a level that's below me. I'm not going to play at a level. I'm going to access the greatness that's within me. And I'm going to bring that forth. I'm going to bring that forth in my presence, in everything I do, in everything I say, in each and every way, every day. I'm going to get better and better. And this is not just rhetoric that you tell yourself. This is real stuff, really understanding that I am enough and I already possess everything I require to build this business and do the things that I want to do. So I'm going to stop sharing right now. And Tara, I'm going to ask you to see if we have any comments, any questions, anything that anybody may want to ask or go through.
Well, Randy, we sure do. And Pat, I am getting ready to unmute you. You have to unmute your own. There you go. You are ready. Go for it.
So, you know, I've been with Jumped Out for a little while, and being an executive was kind of a no-brainer for me with my prior military experience, 22 years Navy. And I used to run upwards of like 18 guys up to like 40 or 50 guys in a fire party, you know.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm trying to network with people to build my team, to use the resources that I've been given, whether it's through apps or, you know, getting those 3 apps out there and putting forth that effort to make people feel that they're going to be almost part of my family.
Yes.
So that I can go to bed at night knowing, you know, I made a good effort today in bringing people on my team and giving and putting forth that effort to immobilize them, that they could trust me and you know, keeping the conscious business marketing in mind, like you had mentioned, the 6 of them. You know, I have to have all these, but like you said, you have to look deeper. And I think if I bring the energy and I'm consistent with it, the key is consistency. That all in bold letters is the consistency. That if I'm consistent, then they'll be consistent, and they know, hey, Pat, I can call you at like 10 at night, 12 at night, and I'm the kind of guy that, you know, when the captain said, wake up at 2 a.m., hey, I need a new faucet in my stateroom and I need it right now. He didn't want it, you know, in 5 minutes when you show up. He wanted it about a half an hour ago. So, you know, I learned through that. I learned through hard work to mobilize what I know and put it to work, and you know, give the people what they want. And because if they're paying for that, that's an important thing too. And also, you know, let my guys know, hey, you know, these are going to be your limits when you're selling, but there's no limit on how much you can buy, but there's a limit on how much we're going to bring things to light for the customer who want to be honest. But they're going to see right through that. I've been in sales a lot of years. I worked Depot for 4 years. I went on deployment for 4 years, and I came back and I had a 9-year patch. And they said, hey, why do I got a 9-year patch? I asked them. They say, well, all your service you did in the Navy, you were leading somebody. You were in charge of something. So they gave me a 9-year patch. And I thought when I got that, I was like, okay, I'm going to have that patch, but I'm going to make sure people understand, you know, that I'm coming with a force that is to be reckoned with. And I think that's kind of energy that Jump to Health needs. And I think that the policies and procedures and things that Jump to Health is looking for in executives is at a different standard. I believe in the product. I've been on it for a while, and I've never felt better. I suffer from PTSD, and I suffer from a lot of stuff. I have to stay home now. I have no choice but to move up in some form. And I think Jump to Health is definitely going to give me that a good outlet. It's going to give me the resources I need, and it's going to give me with people that I can connect to, because you know the business better than I do. And I know that if I have that same idea that the company requires, then I will be a very good asset. And I just wanted to set that out there. I'm a long-winded person, but I'm an open book.
Wow. Well, Patrick, thank you so much, man. I so appreciate your energy, and just want you to know I appreciate your service and everything that you've already done and what you're bringing to the table, because what you're talking about is exactly that, being that demonstration of what's possible. So thank you very much for that. Welcome to Jump, and just know we are here to support you. And so whatever you need, you know, my email address is randy@jumptohealth.com, and just feel free to tap into me at any point, at any time.
So thank you, Patrick. Randy, we have a write-in aha moment, and that is from Michelle. And she is sharing the aha moment for her is these last few weeks is understanding the ML world is changing from do what has been done in the past to building personal mastery. Being sincere is so important to build our business in a way that we can do it with integrity, not in a way that makes people uncomfortable.
Wow, that's a beautiful aha moment, because I think one of the things that I love the fact is that, especially with Jump to Health, it's so easy to be so proud of what you're doing and how you're doing it because of what you represent and the people that we represent. So Michelle, thank you so much for that.
And I put out one last moment. It's like anybody else. And in this moment, we do not have any more write-ins or hands going up in the air.
Okay.
So Randy, you may go ahead and wrap it up.
All right. Well, I just want to say thank you. And it's been a fast 11 weeks, but I got to tell you, we are ready to do some things that we haven't done before. So I'm excited. And I just want to wish everybody to have a great rest of the day. And I'll see you next week. And if you need anything, you know where to get me, Randy@jumptohealth.com. Take care.